Not now. Bore da, a chroeso i Hustings, Llywydd Myfyrwyr Yale, Ffordd y Bers a Llysfasi. Good morning and welcome to the Student President Hustings for the Yale site, the Bersham Road site and the Llysfasi site. So we have a number of questions. We have two candidates here. Croeso, welcome. We have a number of questions that we'll ask you. So the first question, so if you can go one by one, please, yeah. So the first question is, cwestiwn cyntaf ydy, pa rinweddau sy'n eich gwneud chi'n ymgeisydd y dylen bleidleisio drosto? So what qualities make you the candidate we should vote for? So who's going to go first? Alicia? Yeah.
I believe that I'm very approachable person to start with, which I think is quite important having a role such as a president, because people need to be able to feel comfortable to come to you and speak to you and give you ideas and things like that. I also find that I'm, not to toot my own horn here, but I'm very motivated and I'm quite hardworking. I tend to use all my free time to do other things, like extracurricular things, which kind of shows how I will get things done. If I say I'll do it, I'll get it done. And also, I don't know, I think I'm quite a nice person. I'm not one of those people that's kind of really stands out when people are too nervous to come up to. So, yeah.
Okay, great. Diolch. Okay, Lewis?
Well, I think I used to be an army cadet in my spare time, so I think the qualities I brought over from there to here are quite paramount in my perspective, because I learned leadership, I learned how to share in a circle in a sort of way, because I could listen to people and then go and tell another person exactly what they said word for word. So, for example, being a student vice president in my campus now, I've helped multiple people with the mental health scheme that I've got running there. So, like I said, I've had a private chat with the person in question, and I've talked to higher power to get the ball rolling. So I think I'm quite good with person-to-person contact.
Okay, great. Diolch, thank you. Okay, cwestiwn nesa, next question. Sut y byddwch chi'n mynd ati I gyflawni pethau? How will you get things done? So we'll start with you this time, Lewis.
Okay, brilliant. I think what I would do with all campuses really, in that I'll be running for, I'd ask what they want to be done. So obviously we've got the coronavirus, so what they think they would improve on their campuses with. So might be the fact that people aren't wearing their masks. So I get a scheme going to wear more masks and this sort of thing. I'd make plans of what I want to do throughout the year and talk to the campuses and talk to each higher members of the campuses of what I want to do, a big plan of it. So.
Okay, great, thank you. Alicia?
What I do is, obviously, for starters, I bring up any points I'm given to the meetings, the campus council meetings, and from there, people will be able to vote and maybe decide on how to make these suggestions or concerns easily worded into something that can then possibly be turned into a campaign. But also, I find, I hope this doesn't seem too aggressive, but I'm quite good through pressuring sometimes. As an example, as you may see on my campaign video, I got as a Welsh teacher in my high school through persistently pressuring the teachers and telling them that we need one because we didn't have one for GCSE. So there's an example of me getting things done by pressuring. And then also I will campaign and make plans, like Lewis said, as well throughout the year. So there's an easy guide for people to follow and see what I'm going to be doing, and they can give me more suggestions based on those things.
Okay, great, thank you. Okay. Right, question 3. Beth sydd gennych chi gynnig yn y rôl? What you're going to bring to the table?
I think I'm going to bring a really positive attitude and a really I think I'm going to make a lot of change in our college. I think the type of person I am is someone, if I want something done, and usually when people suggest things to me, I will usually agree with them, but they're just things I haven't noticed. But then when they bring it up, I'm like, oh yeah, okay. So I will always get things done, really. I don't really know how else to say it when I bring to the table, because I've already said other things and other questions, to be honest. But also a lot of experience, I'd say, I'll bring to it from a lot of my other different roles I have outside of college and my experience in high school and things. I'm going to use all of that as well to aid me in getting things done.
Okay, great, thank you. Lewis?
So in high school, I was a student councillor all the way from 7 to 11. I was a prefect in year 11. I was also the student ambassador in year 10 for my high school. I attended the military preparation college, and there I was not an ambassador for the college, but I was kind of like a high role. So I think bringing my experience with leadership, I'm quite a talkative person, and also, like Lisa said, being a pressurized person in a way. So yeah, I think also my background through mental health, because in high school I helped a lot of people with mental health, organising counsellors and these sort of things, and that's what I've done now because I'm the mental health engagement officer. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's my role right now. So just making sure. So yeah, I'm trying to, in my campus right now, I've helped a few people with mental health, and I'm trying to express it to all campuses, not just the two in Wrexham.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next question. Okay. So, felly, beth yw'r mater cyntaf y byddwch chi'n ceisio ddatrys ar eich campusau? What's the first issue you will attempt to resolve on your campuses? Who's going to go first this time?
Lisa?
Okay. So kind of streaming off from what Lewis said in the previous question about mental health, that's one of the main points of my campaign. I want to, because the thing is, a lot of the resources are already there to support people who need support and with mental health issues, but the problem is the access to it isn't as easy, or it's not as straightforward. So I want to enable that and make it easier for people to access and make it easier for them to understand how they can get help, and it's not scary and they're not on their own. I've also, again, I promise I'm not copying you. I also have a lot of experience helping with people with mental health, especially in high school. I used to run clubs that were open to everyone, not just people suffering with mental health, but with those people who were, I'd either get them connected to other teachers, because I know them through my own support I've had, or I'd help them in other ways. So, like, for example, we have a student with dyslexia, and we teach them how to spell words and things using different methods and that. But yeah, one of my first things I will try and attempt to resolve is how, the access to mental health support, because yeah, it's there, but not many people know that it's there and how to get it.
Okay, thank you. Lewis?
Sorry, just reading the question.
Your first issue you'll attempt to resolve.
Right. I know from experience with my campus, I don't know about any of the other campuses. I need to gather more information on that. But with my campus, it's the coronavirus. I can't resolve the coronavirus, but I want to improve how we deal with the coronavirus on my campus. Because obviously, for College Cambria standards, it's a pretty small campus. It's pretty compact, really. So I want to open up more hand sanitizer stations and more areas for people to sit outside in their bubbles, if so. But right now, we can't really sit in the bubbles. But in the future, when we can, I want to open more areas for tables and outside seating. And obviously, the second thing is what I'm already doing now, which is mental health through the whole of the campus.
Okay, thank you. Great. Okay, right. Question 5. Pam dach chi eisiau bod yn llywydd y myfyrwyr? Why do you want to be student president? Okay, we'll go with Lewis first this time.
That's fine. I can't really explain why I want to be student president. It's just a thing that I need to be student president. It fits my role perfectly. I don't need to sound very egotistical here, but it really does fit my role. And I know with being student president, I can do a lot with that, not just beneficial for myself, but for students. With obviously mental health is a thing I really want to embrace with the college.
Good, thank you. Alicia?
There's a few reasons why I want to be the student president. The first one, which is most obvious, I think, is because I know I'm capable of it, and I know I'm definitely capable of making change and making people happy. But also, a really quick little story is, I wouldn't be here usually, because when I was originally voted to be the student rep, I lost by a vote, so I was never even a student rep, which never would have got me this far, obviously. But then the girl dropped out, and I got that role, and now I've somehow worked my way up from that to where I am now, and I think, if anything, it's just meant to be, really, because if I made it this far when it originally would never have happened, I think, if everything falls into place, I think I'm probably the best candidate for it. And, I think I'd be really good at it, and I know I would as well. So yeah, that's fine.
Okay, thank you. And I think this is the last question now. So beth fyddech chi'n ei fwynhau ynglyn â bod yn llywydd myfyriwr? What would you enjoy about being a student president? Yeah, go on, Alicia, you go first.
I think I'd enjoy, if anything, the responsibility, weirdly. Because I know a lot of people don't really like that because of the pressure and things, but I like that because it kind of gives me, not to get all really into certain, but it kind of gives me a purpose in a way, really. Because I find a lot of the time in the college, I'm quite I wouldn't say bored, but I have quite a lot of free lessons. And when I finish doing all my work and all my other stuff, I haven't really got much to do. So if I was a president, it helped me fill my time more. I could get more campaigns started off. I could, I can do it now anyway as the vice president, which I do, but I have more of a reason to then, if that makes sense. So, I think I'm going to really enjoy having all my time filled up, really, and being able to help people and then witness change as it goes on gradually. That's what I think I enjoy.
Okay, diolch, thank you. Lewis?
I know it sounds a bit weird, but I think the power of being president, because I know that with that role, I can do a lot with the role. And I've got a notebook in a way, like a little pad of things that I want to change in not only my campuses, but from what I've heard about other people from other campuses. And I know with my role, I can then gather more information about the subjects that I've written down and see if it's similar with every other person. I'd like to have more involvement with the Student Voice program. I'd love more campus council reps and student reps to get involved, so it just fills up the spaces in each campus, and so I have more of like a crew if in a way to communicate with.
Okay, great. And I think that's the last question from both of you. Thank you very much. Diolch yn fawr iawn. I hope it wasn't too painful. I don't think it was it? And thank you for your